instant dopamine it, then they're not going to be invested in it. So one of the things that I think is really exciting to do in your classroom to get kids motivated and to build a little bit of that like classroom community is to utilize circles. So you can use these with your academics, so you can infuse them in. It's a restorative practices strategy, but you can utilize them within your academics. Have a talking piece, get everybody in a circle, talk about maybe like how you're going to implement some of these strategies, where they can use this in the real world, get them excited about it a little bit, get them talking about it. Maybe even if you're going to be doing some type of project, talk about that within the group circle. Start your day off with maybe asking them one question about them. They're teenagers. They love to talk about themselves. They love to talk about social events. Maybe getting them motivated to come to your class that doesn't necessarily have have anything to do with the academic side of it. And then you're also building in that you're building that relationship. You're kind of like going first, right? You're opening the door up to them. So those kids that are not going to be motivated to do the work might be motivated to come and to talk about themselves or talk about things that are interesting to them during that circle time. And I don't mean taking like 25 minutes. I mean like 5 minutes tops, but just once you start doing that, you might be building a little bit more of that momentum. They might be feeling successful. They might be feeling like, okay, I'm welcome here. I'm a part of this crew. And then you kind of get into more of that academic piece.
You mean to like physically get all of your kids in one big circle around?
Yes.
And
Yes.
What about doing like 2 small circles? Because I can already see students being like, I'm not sharing, like, you know, like having the 30 other kids in my class all stare at me while, you know, I talk about my weekend.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. And that's the thing too that we're building. So like if you utilize circles in your classroom, one, you could start by just making it super low entry. Like, what's your favorite color? And that's such an easy thing for kids to start to learn how to just share in a public forum. And if they don't want to go, then they get to pass, right? There's a talking piece, so nobody's interrupting anybody. And I think the way that we frame it to them too is also really important, because you want them to know that this is their space, right? This is like, you guys drive the ship. What do you guys want to talk about today? What's something that's bothering you? What's something that's really exciting? And yes, you can absolutely do smaller circles. And you might even do like pull 4 or 5 kids back to like a small table, small group with you. And if you're pulling some of those kids, that might be like your tier 3 kids for math. They might be your kids that like refuse to do the work. You might be utilizing a smaller circle to build that relationship before you get into the academics. Again, it's all about building that momentum, making them feel successful, opening them up, allowing them to kind of trust you. And then we get a little bit more headway with them.